Broadcasting from the C lot of Jones C. Edwards Stadium, the ThunderCast is here with all the sights and sounds of game day. We are your tailgate destination. We are your fan base amplification. We are the ThunderCast, and we are live.
Hey guys, welcome to ThunderCast Live, powered by Ignite Link. We got Russ and Jed here in the C lot, and live remote is KD. KD, what's up?
Nothing, man. Glad to be a part of the ThunderCast live broadcast with the huge game on tap. James Madison Duke's in town, take on the Herd tonight. Going to be watching that bad boy on ESPN while you guys are living it up in HWV. I am so freaking jealous.
Yeah, weather is great here, Jed. We've got some overcast here behind us. Don't know if you can see a little bit of that up at the top of the screen there. You got a little bit of dark clouds, but we're hoping it'll pass us over. Weather is great, high 60s, something like that. No sun. Don't have to worry about me looking like a lobster tomorrow like I usually do after a tailgate. But we got Jed here from Ignite Link, makes this all happen. We'll talk a little bit later on about what Jed does, but you guys know Jed by now. He's as much a part of ThunderCast as anybody, and we can't do this without Jed, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But first, let's talk a little bit about this game. KD, we just got some breaking news here in the C lot. It started to circulate. 5 to 7 players we are thinking is going to be out, and the only names that they really mentioned were Eli Neal is probably going to be out with his shoulder injury, and unfortunately Rasheen Ali they're thinking is probably not going to play.
Yeah, let's qualify that. 5 to 7 Marshall players could be out for this game. Yeah. So really changes the way you have to view this game, particularly if one of those players is number 22, Rasheen Ali. We know he makes the Herd offense go to a big extent, so to not have him in the backfield, it's going to put a huge load on guys like Ethan Payne and A.J. Turner, and maybe we'll see some of the other guys down the depth chart today from a running back position, but it puts a huge load on Cam Fancher. He was already going to have a huge responsibility today, and now that could be magnified if indeed Rasheen Ali does not play this evening.
Well, we had talked about, or at least I did, Rasheen Ali being my MVP, and that they are giving up JMU only 42.8 rushing yards per game. We were going to rely on Ali to hopefully do what only maybe we end up seeing A.J. Turner. We haven't seen him all year. Yeah. Maybe we see Smoke. I don't know. I don't know if he's got one carry, maybe 0. I don't know. I can't remember a non-Ethan Payne, Rasheen Ali carry other than a quarterback or an end around or something from a wide receiver.
Yeah. It just changes everything, man.
Jed, so, if Ali's out, what does that do to your prediction of how it would have been versus how it might be now?
Well, a couple things. One of the things that you guys talked about on the podcast just the other day was, where JMU has been really good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
I think we were expecting to see some more passing. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we've got someone like a Cade Connolly back. Don't know if he is back yet. We saw you saw Metelo get some work. Some of the wide receivers. I thought, I think Pierce had a couple of good catches.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to see some spreading the ball out. A really good pass game today. You still have, Ethan Payne. You still got Fancher who can take off running.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to still have some semblance of a run game. We can't be one-dimensional. But it definitely does change things with Ali being out, if that's true.
Yeah. Not the news that we wanted to hear at this tailgate. And speaking of this tailgate, we have just off camera here to my left, you're going to see a Low Country Boil. Jed is going to use the mobile cam here to show you a little bit about it. And Jed, I'm going to sneak right over here and raise this lid. We just threw in the corn. So we've got the potatoes, the sausage, and the corn in there. We got another 20 to 25 minutes, and we're going to have some amazing tailgating going on. And this is all possible, this tailgate, this free drinks, free food, because of McCormick Insurance Group. We were going to have Matt McCormick on here, and there's a very good reason that Matt is not on here. Matt, before he is an insurance agent, is a dad. And he went over to the Thunderwalk, took his daughter Kennedy over there. Kennedy got the golden ticket to be the person that runs out and gets the tea after kickoffs today. And she was here in house shoes, and she couldn't run around doing that in house shoes. So Matt said, I'm going to run home. I'm going to miss this interview for the tailgate that he is sponsoring, because he's a dad first, and he's going to go take care of his daughter.
Well, Russ, what if we had a testimonial for Matt instead? What if we had a testimonial? Could I bring someone on for a testimonial for Matt?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to introduce you to Jed Horton. He's going to be Friday. The testimonial. One of the things that, and I know Russ has talked Matt up before, and Matt's a great guy. So I reached out to Matt and I said, hey Matt, this is what I got going on. I hear these guys at the ThunderCast talk you all up. You know how great you are, your customer service, everything that you do. Could you give me a quote? And so he did. He gave me a quote for my business. And what did Matt McCormick do for me? Well, he was responsive, he was quick, and he saved me money. And he got me better coverage than what I had before.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Matt. I mean, he's a great guy. McCormick Insurance Group, they're in Cerrito. I mean, killer guy, huge Marshall fan.
Yeah, huge Marshall fan. A lot of our viewers and listeners may already know Matt McCormick. He has been around here for a long time. He was on the radio here for a while. He has been a die-hard Herd fan since he was a child. And we always like to say Herd fans like to do business with Herd fans. KD, we say that all the time. You want to spend your money with fellow Herd fans. That's just the way I am and everything. He's a local guy. He's down in Cerrito. And one of the things that I always like, I have my insurance with him. He saved me money and increased my coverage. And it was painless. I texted him and said, can I get a quote? And he said, absolutely. All he needed was my VIN number, my policy stuff, gave that to him, and just sent it to him via text. Here's a screenshot of it. Saved me a lot of money, and it was painless. And I did not have to wait until that coverage was up, or it was time. Most people think, well, I've still got 6 months left on it. You do not have to do that. And all you have to do is call or text Matt McCormick, call the office. They'll take care of you. The worst case scenario is the coverage you have is cheaper than what he can do for you, and you just don't switch. But otherwise, it's not that hard. Maybe he can save you a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that that Matt's getting into as well is commercial insurance, which is why I moved everything from my business over to him as well. So if you are a business owner looking for general liability, workers' compensation, it doesn't hurt, right? It's a free quote. So
it does not hurt.
Highly recommend.
It's a free quote, and again, worst case scenario is you just don't change.
So there's two options you guys keep talking about, and when I hear more coverage for the same money, that either tells me that A, I can better insure myself and not increase my monthly budget, or I can keep the coverages that I have currently and maybe save a little bit of money and add money back into my monthly budget. Either way, that's a win-win, right? Because everything is getting more expensive these days. We all know it, and we all complain about it, and I'm no different. And something as a quick phone call or a text message, you could have money back in your pocket, or be better insured in a matter of minutes, and you don't have to wait for your quote policy to expire. Yeah. It's basically a couple of days, and you're good to go. And like you mentioned on the ThunderCast this week, you'll get a check you'll get a prorated check for the difference if you've already made the payment or you've already paid ahead of time. The insurance company can't just keep that money; they got to give it back to you, right? So do yourself a favor. Give them a call. McCormickInsuranceGroup.com. They're right down there in Cerrito. Big Herd fans, and like Russ said, Jed said, as Herd fans, we like to do business with other Herd fans. Give them a shot. Maybe they won't be cheaper for you, but maybe they will.
And he saved me a lot more money than this. He saved me several $100s on the year, I know for a fact, while increasing my coverage. However, all he can do, if he can save you $5 a month, well, there's you a Big Green donation if you're not a Big Green member right now. So everyone should be a Big Green member, but if you do that and he saves you $5 a month, boom. All of a sudden you got your Big Green, you got the insurance you have or better, plus you got a Big Green membership.
Well, and to that end, you're now getting a Herd Perks card, which will allow you to save more money throughout the year. So, hey, these things are starting to compound up. I like where your mind's at, Russ. This is not only putting money back into your pocket in one way,
that's right.
Damn it, we're doing it a couple of ways, right? And it's all about the revenue streams these days, boys and girls. It's all about the revenue streams.
Now, I don't want to, we could sit here and talk about insurance for a long time, but that'd be a boring pregame show. So let's talk a little bit of football here. The JMU Sound Off guys are over here at the tailgate. We hope to get them over here for a little bit, but they're doing their show right now. We're showing them that world-class Herd and ThunderCast hospitality. We've given them one of our 5 spots over here, so they're right here with us in the C lot, and a lot of their fans are starting to come over here as well. We've talked to them all game, or all pregame, all these JMU fans that are over here, and it's been a really, really good kind of olive branch between getting them over here and talking and everything.
Can I just ask, what lottery did James Madison hit that they've just been at both games we've done something big for, right? They're here. You gave them a spot on the C lot. We were playing them in the softball series back in the spring when we did the free tailgate over there. I mean, man, we're really setting an example here for James Madison. They must think we do this the right way all the time, because every time they come to town, they're getting taken care of in a big way.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that's how we do it at the ThunderCast, and that's because of people like Jed and people like Matt and all the sponsors that we have. We're blessed to do what we do.
Yeah, we certainly are. I say it all the time, and it holds true every single day. I think Russ and I, particularly, nothing against you, Jed, but I think Russ and I are the 2 luckiest fans in the entire fan base, because you contribute to the luck that we have. You contribute to our good fortune. I know you feel like a pretty lucky Herd fan too, because this is just a lot of fun. But it's because of you, and it's because of Ignite Link that we're able to do a lot of what we are able to do. And being able to host tailgates, make things free for our fans. Anybody that comes over, look, it's still time to get down to Jones C. Edwards Stadium and get yourself a ticket to this game. I mentioned this in the ThunderCast. You don't have to pack up all your tailgate stuff. You can come down and tailgate with us on the C lot, eat your fill, drink your fill, and head into the game. It's all about putting butts in the seats right now for this one on ESPN tonight. This is going to be a big, big game. Let's talk about it a little bit, guys. Injuries aside, that's pure speculation. Let's hope that's fan rumor talk going around the parking lots. Let's just hope that's what it is, and we actually do see some of these guys, these 5 to 7. Let's hope it's a far fewer number than 5 to 7, right? That notwithstanding, this James Madison team is undeniably great.
Yeah.
They have been all season long, and they seem to get better each week. Marshall, on the other hand, started out pretty strong and now has reached a 2-game skid. So we're 2 teams kind of trending in the wrong direction. But I don't think for 1 second that any James Madison fans are just writing this game off as a definite win, because Jones C. Edwards Stadium is still a pretty tough place to play. The Herd has shown that they can beat you in a number of different ways. And just like we were really confident going into Georgia State last week, you just never know how the ball's going to bounce, guys.
That's right.
You never know how the penalties are going to play out. You never know who's going to make that play that's going to change the course of a game. So, like you say, Russ, all the time, if we just played the games on paper, it wouldn't be any fun, right? That's why you line up and go best on best. And I'm just going to say it like this. Owen Porter said it, I'm going to echo it. They're good, we're good, spot the ball.
I tell you, I'd probably still tailgate for a simulation or just something played on paper, but it's a hell of a lot more fun to go into the game and watch it. I think that this game could be closer. Now, this is if Ali was playing. We don't know who's out. This is all speculation, as we said, but I think this could be closer than what a lot of people nationally are looking at. They're looking at records and saying 6-0. But when you look at that, those middle 4 games with them was all within a touchdown, 1 point, 2 points, 7 points, and I can't remember what the other one was, 4 points, 3 points, something like that. And we have 2 games that we lost that we could have won, maybe should have won one of those. It could be a lot different. We've got people naturally at 4-2, we've lost 2 in a row, saying, there goes the season. It doesn't have to be. You know, we were 3-3 last year after 6 games, and we ended up going 5-1 down the stretch. We go 5-1 down the stretch here, we're 9-3. We just never know.
5-1 down the stretch here, and nobody at that point is saying what is going on with this hurt team.
That's right.
We talked about it. We're in the gauntlet right now. This is game 2 of the gauntlet. We didn't expect Georgia State to be the literal kickoff to that gauntlet. We thought that would be a game that was very winnable. We figured we'd go to Atlanta and continue winning, right? We thought the midweek is really the kickoff to this gauntlet that we've got to get through. Well, it happened a week early. But nonetheless, here we are. 6-0 James Madison. It's a 4-2 Marshall team. This is a matchup that a lot of our fans circled at the beginning of the season and went, that's probably the one that's going to be the toughest early on, at least in the conference, on the conference slate. And I've talked to plenty of their fans on social media this week, James Madison fans that is, and they've all said, we circled this one. This is one we thought was going to be the tough one because you came into Bridgeforth last year and beat us. Yeah. You know, and teams just don't do that, right? I mentioned it on the ThunderCast, Jed. They had this great rush defense last year. Kalen Laban went in there and went for $150 and a couple of scores.
Yep.
Owen Porter played out of his mind in that game, 3.5 sacks, should have been 4.5 sacks. But so that's the type of effort you're going to have to see mirrored yet again. Russ and I always do our keys to victory on the ThunderCast. You don't join us on the ThunderCast, Jed, but let's revisit some of those keys, and we'll include Jed here since he's going to get it going.
We're going to include Jed, but I got somebody walking up here.
I see him coming right behind you.
So while he comes up here, Jed, we're going to go over these keys, but if you could get this person a mic and a headset.
Yeah, absolutely. I will get that rolling.
How you doing?
I don't know. While you guys are doing introductions and you're getting him set up, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about who's just rolled up into the ThunderCast tailgate at the Sea. For anybody that's on Twitter and as a college football fan, if you've paid attention to any of it over the past, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years now, maybe even longer, it's the Big Game Boomer. And he's getting set up right there just on the edge of your screen. He's wearing the sweet home field TP Marshall M hoodie, by the way. Such a killer shirt. Wish I had one of those in my arsenal, but I don't.
Do a mic check real quick.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So welcome to the ThunderCast, man. It's great to have you. Even though I'm 880 miles away, you're enjoying Huntington, West Virginia.
Heck yeah, man. I love this weather. I hope it doesn't rain, but everyone's tailgating. It looks like a good time.
Well, his first trip to Huntington?
First trip, yep. First trip. I got the full tour today. Awesome place.
Awesome.
Well, I did see yesterday on Twitter, on your timeline, you mentioned, this was shortly after you got to town, I think, maybe a couple of hours in. You mentioned that Herd fans are some of the nicest people in the country, and that's something we stand by. We say that all the time. So it's nice when somebody comes in new, first time, and echoes that. So
I was at Backyard Pizza last night and then went over to the Hall of Fame restaurant to catch a little bit of that soccer game, which I had no idea was even going on, and everyone was just so friendly. I mean, I was just talking to just random people you felt like you'd known for like 10 years. So it was cool. It was fun. I love coming to college towns like this. It's, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Well, we wish we had a better lively tailgate like we do on Saturdays. It's almost 5 o'clock, right around the time people are getting off work. Hopefully this will start picking up here. It's a little sparse. I've been out here since 1 o'clock, but you know how I do.
We're gonna tailgate.
I'm going to tailgate. You know, I don't care if the chess match is going on. I'm going to tailgate. So we hope that the lots fill in. So I hope that you have a bigger tailgate experience. But you're going to get that right here. If you see right over here, I got your Low Country boil going on.
Let's go.
Yeah, let me show you this real quick. Just Jed, grab your Cam 2 over here if you would.
Another shot. I love the high-tech tripod
there we go.
Going on too.
So is that really a West Virginia thing, Low Country broil?
No,
it's a Southern thing.
It's the Low Country of South Carolina.
That's right, yeah, South Carolina.
Yeah. So
that's good stuff.
I put my own little spin on it and everything, like I do everything that I cook. But this is ultimate tailgate food to me. We throw it out on the table and we just eat it with our hands.
There you go. That's how you do it. That's tailgating food at its finest.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit of the game here. Since we've got you, we might as well talk about it.
Let's do it.
You probably have some preconceived type thoughts prepared, but I'm going to throw you a curveball because we've gotten some what we hope is not accurate information, but we have just learned that there may be up to 5 to 7 herd players out in this game. We're hoping that's just gamesmanship, but that's the rumor swirling right now, including potentially number 22, Rasheen Ali. So we'll see that when they trot out of the tunnel, who plays and who doesn't. But 6-0 James Madison, 4-2 Marshall. What are your thoughts on this one?
Man, I'll tell you, James Madison, I watched him last week against Georgia Southern, and that offense looks scary.
Yeah.
McLeod, the quarterback at JMU, I mean, he's a good dual threat guy. I mean, they're trouble on offense. And, man, I mean, Marshall, it feels like this year it's been like the complete opposite. Like they've been scoring points, and the defense hasn't been so hot. So I was a little surprised the line was only like 3.5 in James Madison's favor. So, I mean, this is going to be tough for Marshall for sure. And shoot, I mean, I hate picking against the home team when I come and visit, but I don't feel good about it. I hope Marshall wins, but I mean, you look at James Madison, and if you're talking about Ali being out, that's huge.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't been. I mean, the defense, I mean, is just not there this year. I mean, you lose Guidry, the defensive coordinator, to Miami, and I mean, it's been a struggle this year. I mean, because last year y'all beat James Madison like 26-12.
27-12.
Yeah, so defense was there last year. This year, not so much. I mean, the NC State game was a shootout.
Yeah. ODU was a shootout before that.
Yeah, Georgia State put up, 41 points?
41.
So it's going to be tough, man. But I hope that the defense can get it together, and Fancher has a better game than he did last week. So if I'm a Marshall fan, I don't feel good about this game.
We were thinking it was going to be a tight game. I had Marshall losing by 3, 37-34, that the defense just couldn't put it together. I am extremely hopeful that is wrong. I want to win by 80 every game, but KD had a slightly different take on it and everything. But now, if we have Eli Neal out, we have Rasheen Ali out, 3 to 4 more guys out, it's really going to change what we're thinking. It could get ugly if we can't run, and then they can just tee off on us trying to pass.
Yeah, and it's going to fall on Fancher's back. And I mean, God bless the guy. He's not top 50 quarterback right now. So, I mean, he's going to have to play well tonight if Ali is out, and they're not going to be able to run the football.
He's a sophomore, still growing into, consistency. He has all the ability in the world, needs consistency from his accuracy on passes and stuff like that. Took a lot of hits last week. I mean, they were just teeing off on him, and if that happens again this week, we may see an injury or him having to come out of the game or something like that, because he took 2 different targeting calls last week, and a couple other times he just got laid out. So
yeah, you gotta be healthy.
Could be bad.
You gotta be healthy.
Here's the thing that really worries you, right? If you don't have the weapon that is Rasheen Ali in your backfield, and you're facing the #1 team in quarterback sacks on the season, and you have a quarterback that just took a beating last week, that's too many boxes that start to get checked, right? And you really worry about what Fancher's able to do to stay out of the way of those violent and disruptive defensive linemen for James Madison. It was going to be a tall task anyway.
Yeah.
And Rasheen Ali takes so much pressure off of your quarterback because he's got the ability to break one at any moment. You know, he can go 80 yards, 75 yards with just a sliver of daylight. And if that threat's not there, I don't know. You know, I try to spin that positively, and I try to say, well, you know, we're going to maybe see some backs that they don't have film on. Face it, Rasheen Ali's one of the best in the country for a reason. He's damn good. You know, and if you have a whole running back room full of Rasheen Ali's, it's a whole different luxury. But we don't have that.
Yeah.
Right?
This is in Alabama.
So, yeah, I feel good so long as everybody that trots out of the locker room trots out of the locker room. if we're missing some of those key cogs, I can't hate on anybody for picking Marshall, picking against the Herd this week. I mean, James Madison's 6-0 for a reason.
Yeah.
So
I'm not picking against Marshall. I always pick the home team wherever I go, so I hope Marshall can pull this.
There it is.
But,
love it.
Yeah, I mean, the home team this year is 3-1 in games I've gone to. So in the first week 0, I went to New Mexico State. They got beat by UMass, but every home team has won since. So hopefully Marshall can continue the streak tonight.
KD, if you're scoring at home 3-1, that's damn near 75%. So,
Well, we were about to get into keys to victory before you walked up, so we might as well get into that. And I don't know if you have somewhere else to be. We don't want to hold you up if you do, and we certainly don't want to run you off. You're here. You're welcome to stay with us all night if you want to. So let's talk about a couple of keys to victory for the Herd if you have something. What absolutely has to happen for Marshall? Give me your number one key to victory for the Herd.
Turnovers. You got to win the turnover margin. When you've got guys out, you've got to count on the defense to capitalize and make turnovers. So, I mean, I think when you're undermanned, the more talented team has to make mistakes, and that's how I think Marshall. It's raining right now as we speak, so maybe the weather has a factor in this game, and they're able to force some turnovers. It gets real dirty here. So, I mean, I think that they got to win the turnover margin.
Yeah, you can't argue that. Jed, I was about to get your first one before we got into this segment. What's your number one key to victory for the Herd this week?
Yeah, I hate to be a cop out on this one, but that mic's not working too great. Number one key to victory is protect the ball. You can't afford the mistakes. The turnovers that we've had in the previous few games have been detrimental, and some of those turnovers have been just straight up deadly. The block punt against Georgia State out of the get-go. Scoop and score. It just you can't have those mistakes against a team like JMU, because they will capitalize, and it'll be very difficult to claw back from something like that. So my number one key to victory is not a cop out, but a copy rather, but it's you got to protect the ball.
Yeah, you absolutely have to protect the football against good teams anyway, and Marshall's been good at getting turnovers, creating turnovers. They're really good at getting interceptions. And that's something that McLeod just doesn't do. He has taken great care of the football. I think his TD to interception ratio is something like 14-3. I mean, it's off the charts, But my number one key to victory is the same thing that I've been preaching all season long, and we have yet to see it for 60 minutes from a Herd defense, and that's discipline and sound defense. They've always seemed to get gashed for the big play. They always seem to be that. Now, it's not even bend, don't break. It's don't bend, but break. It's the 1-2 yard drives. They seem to get stout and keep people from going all the way down the field. It's that quick strike, 1 to 2 play drive that goes for touchdown. We have to see that go away. I can't sit here and magically think it will this week, but that's what has to happen against a good team like James Madison. You have to up that defensive play exponentially to have a good shot in this one. Russ, hand him the mic, Jed. Give me his number one key to victory, dude.
My number one key to victory was establishing the run, so we would be able to not be one-dimensional throwing the ball. And if Rasheen Ali is out, that is going to be a tall task, which it was already going to be a tall one anyway against this stout defense. 42.8 yards per game they're giving up. So we're going to need somebody to step up, if that's Ethan Payne all game long, or if we have someone coming out that has not ran the ball yet this year, Smoke Jones, AJ Turner. Yeah, we're going to have to see somebody going in, and you've got 4 games before you have to burn a red shirt. So if that was what they were trying to do, was get, not take up a year of eligibility, maybe this is not something, it's only 1 game, put them out there, and then you can keep that red shirt going.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, the only positive way I can spin that is, like I said earlier, James Madison do not have film on guys like A.J. Turner or Smoke, or, they have film on Ethan, but you might see a running back by committee today to see who's got the hot hand if Rasheen Ali indeed is not a go, but gosh almighty, let's hope that he is. Let's go straight around the horn, and well, if you've got another one.
No, I was just saying, I came out here to see Ali play. I hope he's able to go. I mean, he was. The guy had I was at that backyard pizza place last night. He has a pizza named after him. He's got his own pizza.
Yeah.
So
Rasheen Ali is a vegan, and he has a cauliflower crust.
That's right. Yeah,
vegan pizza.
And I didn't order it because it had cauliflower crust on it. I was like, man, Rasheen. So I didn't know he was a vegan. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He's definitely worth the price of admission. So I hope he's playing, selfishly, because he's one of the best, if not the best player on the entire roster. Or that's an arguable point talking about offense and defense, but he's worth the price of admission anyway.
Yeah.
Give me another. Let's do one more key to victory, and then I'll get some MVPs from you guys. So, what's the number 2 key to victory for you this week?
Gosh, let me think. I mean, definitely third down. I mean, converting on third downs for Marshall's offense, and also limiting James Madison, forcing them to punt the ball. I think it's going to be important. So, I mean, you can't leave the defense on the field for too long, especially with a good offense. So I think, Marshall's got to be able to stimulate something on offense to give them a chance.
Well, I will echo the point again that I had on the ThunderCast earlier this week and on social media today. Cam Fancher's had a really hot hand passing the football since the bye week. We've seen 3 of his 4 career best passing outings. The problem with that is he's passed for over 300 yards in a game 3 times in his career. Marshall's 0-3 in those games. Now, no, that's not the best indicator of success, right? But it's a weird stat. You're going to have to pass for a lot of yards against James Madison. It's time for that trend to break. So I think you're right. Marshall's been historically good defensively on third down this year. Offensively, not so much. They rank near the bottom of the country, and that's a trend that's also got to change.
One of those things that stat could be causation is not correlation. Correlation
of course.
is not causation.
It's just a weird stat.
Well, you would think that you would have to throw a lot more when you're playing from behind. So, you put up more yards because you have to. That's the way that you move the football down the field quicker, put up more points. It could be a situation we couldn't run the ball and we had to throw more, that sort of thing. But one of my other keys to victory was that we had to get back on this field position and everything. Last year, it was total opposite. We had the short field. We had the better situation. If they put us in a short field, them in a short field by their defense holding us and taking the ball at midfield or closer, that is where they could put up a lot of points because they've done that all year long against everyone else. In field position, they are very, very good near the top of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you guys 2 things. The boil is getting put out on the table right now. So anyone that's watching this around,
man, this could get ugly.
Yeah, I hope it does get ugly. I hope there's at least 3 or 4 burns that are
James Madison fans coming in.
Yeah, it's a JMU fan. We'll sacrifice one of those.
Oh boy. You got
I wish we had a camera on this because Jed, we don't have insurance. Matt McCormick's not here, and we don't have insurance on the tailgate. So if somebody goes down, at least it's a JMU fan.
Is this like a swarming to the fumble here? Everybody's swarming the table?
No, they're trying to dump it from the hot boil pot into the containers on the table. So, yeah, Jed's got it here on what's going on. I do have to say, too, we have JMU Sound Off. They finished up on their pregame show that they were doing. So we're going to have them come over.
Those guys are here too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right at the end of our spots.
Cool.
Yeah, we gave them one of our spots.
Hey, that was a hot spot.
You guys want to come over?
Graciously donating 20% of our tailgate area.
This is Big Game Boomer.
What's going on? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Jed, can we get him a headset?
Do you just want one of us or one at a time? Or
one at a time, probably, because...
Steve, we're just doing one at a time.
We've got a
We can do it, but just
we've got a couple of the headsets and mics are shorting out for some reason. So we're going to do one at a time here.
one of our big donors loves your setup so much. He's like, I want to buy you guys all that stuff. So I keep taking pictures of your stuff.
Yeah, well, have him buy us some stuff too, because we had the idea. Tell us who you are. We'll just share the microphone here. I'll pass it back and forth with you. Who you are, what you guys do, and maybe some thoughts on this game. Now that we are hearing that Rasheen Ali is probably out, and that 5 to 7 different 5 to 7 different players might be out for Marshall. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
So Taylor Adkins, I'm the co-host for the JMU Sound Off. So that's one of the JMU fan podcasts. We've kind of just started our setup this year the way we're doing video podcasts. So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. But you mentioned that we actually just did a short live broadcast over there. We're hearing those rumors too. And the shoe kind of seems to be on the other foot this year. So this time last year, JMU fans were in the tailgates. Yep. One by one, you heard it going down the tailgate. Did you hear Todd Centeo's out? Todd Centeo's out. And we knew that our backup was a significant step down.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of concern, and that concern was valid and justified. I remember last year, I felt like when we had the ball, I was hoping for a 3 and out because I honestly thought our defense had a better chance of scoring. So I do think that Marshall has a very deep squad. I've seen you guys play a bunch of games this year. I know last week didn't turn out the way you did, but going into this game, I knew this was going to be one of the top Sun Belt teams. And this is also, we had a great showing, 3-game road test earlier this year, but we've had the comfort of being at home last 2 weeks. So with a bye week. So I don't know if there's a bit of apathy that sets in, or does the team come fired up like they had earlier in the year?
That's a good point. Good point, Taylor. And we thought that it might be close before today. We were thinking, a close, within a touchdown, a field goal may do it. That it could go to either squad depending on if Marshall's defense gets better and shows up like they did last year, or if there was a turnover battle that Marshall came out on top. Maybe they would do that. Awesome, vaunted front 7, and particularly defensive line for you guys. Going to make it hard to run. Now Rasheen Ali, we're hearing, is out. Does that change anything for you?
It does maybe a little bit, because I would say if you've watched JMU games this year, we've had good run games and bad run games. We've had good passing games, bad passing games, and our secondary has been, I feel the one constant that we have had through all 6 of our games has been our front 7 and that rush defense. So that being such a strength of Marshall, I do feel it gives us a little bit boost of confidence, but my other concern is just the mental aspect of what football is, and are the other areas of the team ready to come out and perform at the level that we know they can.
All right, Taylor, thanks for hopping on here. If you'll get one of your other people over here, we'll hear some more. KD?
Yo.
Hate to hear it, but if the rounds are making it over to the JMU people that Rasheen Ali is probably out, that seems like there's probably some fire and smoke.
I hate to tell you, it's not like that wouldn't spread like wildfire anyway.
Yeah.
And you're talking about being 20 feet away. That's already made it to Charleston. They're talking about that. I mean, hell, it made it all the way down to Florida. I knew about it, so.
Well, you heard it from me.
That's the power of the internet.
All right, Big Game Boomer. We got Steve Brown here from
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
JMU Sound Off. Steve Brown. Steve, we'll share a microphone, but just tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with JMU and whatever you want to say about the game today.
Really happy to be here with you guys. Really appreciate the fact that we're in the same league. This is part of our dream, is to kind of be playing teams that matter, and you guys matter. Graduated in 1984 from JMU, back when there was about 6,000 people. Now it's 22,000 students. Much different deal back then. We watched the game from the hill with kegs of beer. Now we're in a 25,000 seat stadium and hopefully about to expand it. So looking forward to the game. Did I hear you guys say that Ali's out?
That is what is circulating, that he's out, and 5 to 7 of the Marshall players could be out. Looking like Eli Neal is probably out at middle linebacker, and Rasheen Ali out at running back, and we don't know who those others are. but it could be ugly. And Taylor just said, kind of the opposite of what happened with Todd Centeio last year, that you start hearing that at the tailgate.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with that is that Marshall's so deep. At the end of the day, there's somebody. Ali's almost irreplaceable, but honestly, there's somebody that can step into it. Your other two backs are really good. I don't necessarily think that talent drop-off will be too much because you have so many good players. He's a special player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the best back, best all-around back in the Sun Belt, by far.
Well, we appreciate that, and we seem to think that as well, that he's irreplaceable. He does a lot of catching out of the backfield. His blocking is not something that's a drop-off that you say, well, he's great and elusive and all that, but he's a liability in passing downs. He is not at all. He's a threat on passing downs as well. So we think that he is well-rounded. He is always in the end zone when he's healthy. He is near the top right now in touchdowns. And even though the past 3 games he's had a bad ankle injury, and he still put up 174 yards on a bad ankle last week with 3 touchdowns. But if he's out, I think it changes.
It does. I mean, I couldn't believe that he played last week after I knew he got dinged up in the first half. Whatever your training staff did, they worked the magic. He's also one of the toughest people in the league. The catch he had is one of the best catches I've ever seen in a game, and it'll be difficult if he's not able to play, but we had the same issue last year with our best player that couldn't play. The other guys still bring it. It doesn't, just because they're not in or because you got some people that can't play. The other issue for this is this game doesn't really count against you if you lose it. And I know that nobody wants to lose anything, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt you in the standings. So if you've got to rest some other guys for the run, or they're not really able to go, I get it, but it's disappointing to us because I'd really like to see a full-strength Marshall. We all would. I mean, you all wanted to see a full-strength JMU last year, but you'll still take that win.
We'll take the win. I got a little secret for you. I want to win every game. I don't care if they count or not. But.
Me too. I hear you. I'm the same way. I don't ever have that deal of this doesn't matter. It always matters. But at the end of the day, I hear you. These are young men that, they've got careers. Ali has a career in the NFL. So he's got to make sure he's got that ankle ready to roll, and he's got to be able to ready to roll next week when you guys go into Coastal too. So you got, like us, we have a murder schedule for the rest of the season. So I get it.
The way I'm wired, if you and I are in a contest to see who can mow a better stripe in this yard over here,
I'm going to fight you.
Oh yeah. So that's the way I am. So I want to win them all.
I'm with you.
Steve, thanks for coming on the show.
Brother.
If you'll get
Appreciate
Jonathan over here.
I'll get him over here.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, in the meantime,
go ahead,
are you
Boomer.
hungry? You got to get Big Game Boomer some food, man.
I got to say, for James Madison, can everyone agree here that it's ridiculous that can't play in a bowl game this year?
Ridiculous is not even the word. They need to create a word for how stupid it is that, hey, if they are ready and they're winning, let them play.
It's ridiculous.
Who are they protecting? Because the NCAA is not protecting the student athletes for JMU.
Well, we talked a lot about last night, and we did some of our previous broadcasts about the mission of the NCAA, trying to offer student athletes an outstanding experience, offering them an opportunity to amplify their lives and to go into the future. I don't see how not offering student athletes, especially when you look at what happened with the COVID situation, the opportunity to at least compete. I don't see how that furthers the student athlete experience. And then second point for me is I can understand if there was possibly maybe JMU doesn't get the revenue portion of it because that's something that they want to build towards. But again, especially with what these particular age group of players went through with COVID, missing out on opportunities to compete, missing out on opportunities to have a normal student athlete experience, I would have thought that would have been one of the things that would have come as a result of the COVID pandemic. Obviously it hasn't. We find ourselves where we are. I know from Coach Signetti's perspective, he believes winning is the cure for all of that. If JMU can continue their success, get to 10-0, 11-0, 12-0, maybe the national pressure comes for the media to maybe change the NCAA's mind. However, you got to win tonight against an opponent that I don't know what my fellow 2 podcast hosts say.
They said Marshall by 30.
That's fine. But I will say this, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring this up on this broadcast. When JMU fans were in the conversation about conference realignment, one of our goals as a program was to make sure that we were with fan bases that had a passionate group of supporters, fan bases that showed up, fan bases with proud traditions. Marshall was always at the top of the list from the JMU community in terms of what we wanted to see from our own program and what we want to be able to compete with on a regular basis. So I hope that sentiment was communicated from everybody, not only on the JMU Sound Off podcast, but from our entire fan base, how much respect we have for this program, and how grateful we are to be able to call you guys conference mates and to be able to compete with you not only on the football field, but to compete with you in basketball and our other sports, because these are the types of rivalries that make us all better. I think your investments in your program on a regular basis make you better. And I'll say your investments in your podcast platform are certainly going to make us better, because we've learned a lot watching what you guys do on a week in and week out basis. And it's a top-notch quality product, and we're grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, talk about competing with us in tailgating and being closest to the stadium and all the gear that we have. Let's talk about that for a while. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
John, you didn't tell us who you are and everything. The other two guys did. So if you want to give yourself a little shout out about how long you've been a fan, how you came about, and that sort of thing.
Yes. I'm going to get some food real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Big Game Boomer, by the way. If you haven't
So I am Jonathan McNamara. I'm a 2005 graduate of JMU in media arts and design. So doing a lot of stuff similar to this with kind of podcasts and media, but been a fan of JMU since I actually worked for the program. So I was on the broadcast team for JMU while I was at Madison, helping out as a halftime show host, as well as supporting a variety of other broadcasts on campus, do some play-by-play work in the Richmond area for both high school and the college level. So really excited to continue to see this program grow. My first time as a JMU fan in 2001, we didn't even have end zone bleachers in the stadium. We found ourselves in a situation where a lot of fans showed up for the band and nothing else. But really, since 2004, our first national championship, really been a kind of a meteoric and consistent growth for this program, and something that has us here today. I don't think any of us thought in our second year as a program we'd be 6-0 and have a chance to be on national television on a Thursday against a program like Marshall.
Speaking of Marshall, Huntington, this is your first trip in. What are your thoughts so far? You've been here for about a little over 5 hours. Yeah.
I would say this, again, you deliver at everything that we were looking for as a fan base. Your fans showed up early. Awesome tailgate scene for a Thursday night. A lot of people obviously have work commitments. Their kids play soccer or have other commitments. So to see your fan base here in a big way on a Thursday night is a testament to the kind of the traditions you have here at Marshall, and also just speaks to the passion behind your fan base. We had a really great time downtown in your downtown area, one of the restaurants, Peddlers. Staff was great for us, recommending drink specials and food. This is what you want as a fan of an away team, to have yourself welcomed by the visiting tailgates. You guys did everything for us, including letting us use your Wi-Fi, giving us a tailgate space. Our commitment to you is we're going to return the favor when you come to Harrisonburg next year.
Yeah, I had a great time. I've said this on the tailgate. I had a great time with Michael Evangelista at his tailgate last year, and we feel like Marshall is one of the better fan bases for welcoming in the opposing fans, because why should we hate you guys? You're cheering on either your alma mater or your chosen team of choice. That doesn't mean that we're going to create any kind of better environment for us to win a home game if we're assholes to you at a tailgate. So KD says it all the time. KD, what do you say before we're going to do the kickoff? What are we going to do out here at the tailgate and then after the game?
We're going to fill you up before the game with all the food and drink you want. We're going to hate your guts for 3 hours between the whistles, and then we're going to welcome you right back over to a tailgate as soon as the game's over.
Well, I can tell you we feel the exact same way about the experience in Harrisonburg, and I'll say this. I really do think this is a situation with the group of five now and the college football playoffs starting out that we want success for our entire conference, because that's going to raise the profile of the conference. When we're talking about our competitions with American Conference teams, Conference USA, we don't like to talk about them on Sunbelt.
Sheets is right over there, and we can go over there and catch a game of theirs at
I think they play it on the little TVs at the gas station.
Yeah.
That's their TV contract now. No, but in all seriousness, after tonight, I know for all the JMU fans are going to be hoping that Marshall wins every game the rest of the way. We just really want to see our conference continue as the best group of five league. Yeah. That's what's going to put us in the best situation possible.
The better that all the teams do in the Sun Belt Conference means that when you win the Sun Belt Conference, you would have a better shot at going to one of those New Year's Six bowls. That is the goal for us. That is probably the pinnacle until they expand the playoffs, until you can get into the actual playoff. But again, you win the Sun Belt Conference and you're the best G5, you probably get a better seeding in that playoff when it does happen. So, yeah,
I think we're edging towards that trend of like
scoot up a little bit.
You may not even have to be an undefeated Sun Belt champion to get that NY6 bowl because this conference is so good from top to bottom, particularly in the East. Nothing against the West, but we all know this East is what it is. It's the best division in college football, the most competitive. Or none.
And I'll say, and if you look at what you guys did this year, especially, I'll say, from a JMU fan perspective, you won a lot of fans in Harrisonburg and around the state of Virginia when you beat Virginia Tech. So cheers to you. Drinks on us next time just for that alone. But if you look at the continued success of Sun Belt teams against the ACC in the last couple of years, that type of thing is what is growing the brand of the Sun Belt. It's what's getting the Sun Belt teams featured on ESPN programs, ESPN broadcasts, as well as talk shows across the country, podcasts like the national conversations in The Athletic that continue to mention Sun Belt teams, Chris Vanini's coverage and others who continue to beat the drum for the conference, how we're doing in our sustained and continued success. And it's just great to see, especially as a fan base like JMU, to be candid. I was one of those that thought our transition would be challenging, knowing the history and the traditions of the programs we were going into. So this has really been a dream for our program.
Jonathan, thanks for coming over here. I need to get Jed back over here.
Yeah.
Jed, we need to get you back over here.
Awesome.
There's
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you. There's an emergency. I looked over there. No one seasoned after it got put on the table. No one seasoned the boil, so I'm going to do that. Jed, we need to talk a little bit about how you have made all this happen. KD and you talk for just a second. We got a seasoning emergency, and I'll be right back.
Russ is going to be accused of not seasoning his food, and
he's going to get in trouble. Hey, I got another.
Somebody better never accuse me of that.
Hold on.
You want on?
Let's go.
Make sure he.
Let's pull Devin on.
Make sure he seasoned his food.
It's all right. I got another. I've got another co-host right now. Is this one working?
Well,
yeah.
That
Howdy, Cowdy.
What's up, dude?
Man, just taking it all in. It's looking like it's getting a little cloudy. I'm feeling some thunder coming. I don't know.
Whoa!
He went to Oklahoma and my brother went to Oklahoma, so we shared a moment about that. Now I finally get the name, like his Twitter handle and his like the Big Game Boomer deal. It all came together finally for me personally. I didn't know that he was an OU guy.
The color scheme and the Boomer Sooner never clicked with you?
No,
hatred of Texas?
Yeah, no. I knew I liked the guy, but I didn't know it clicked on that level. But because that's where all my family's originally from, Oklahoma City. He lives about 30 minutes from there, so
yeah,
checks out.
I'm telling you, man, this tailgate is quickly becoming the destination spot for those that come to Huntington.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, even though I'm not physically here for it, I am here for it.
Yeah. I see you. I'm looking at you. You're right here. You're right in the
I know. I mean, virtually I'm there. You guys are up in my office with me. And well, at least you put some seasoning on it.
Don't you ever. Never, ever.
Hey, I just got a DM from the CFB football campus tour. He said he was heading your way, so be on the lookout for him.
Nice.
So, so everybody that came into town has taken us up on our offer. So, what do you give me the scoop, man?
And after that, we also need to hear from Jed about making this happen.
Yeah, for sure. You were on the field last year up in Harrisonburg.
Yep.
So you've got real-world experience against a lot of these guys.
Yeah. I'm not too sure who all is returning on their defense, but they had really strong defensive linemen. Really, like, it wasn't like the overbearing size of them, like, that made them hard to move. It was like the true strength. So, like, that was a task, and obviously we got the ball rolling on the ground really well. But I hope we could do it again. It's hard to say, kind of like the little clip of Logan that blew up. Like, I don't know if anybody's really tried to run the ball like as much as we will tonight. So we will get we will see them truly tested, but they are real on defense. Like, I remember remembering these guys, and people ask me at the end of the year, like, who had the strongest D lineman you played against. It was them. So we've been hearing rumblings that potentially 22 may be out tonight.
So that will obviously change what Marshall's able to do on the ground. But that could just be fan rumor. That could be speculation. I've been scouring the social media. Can't confirm or deny that that's actually a thing.
Yeah.
But it is something to be aware of.
I think Payne's been looking really good, looking like he's destined to have a nice game. If that is the case, I think he's poised and he's got plenty of reps in him. I don't know if he's carried a full load of carries yet in his career, but it's something that he's ready for and he's poised for. I wouldn't worry about that too much. It really comes down to those guys blocking in front of him more than, I mean, obviously the running back's a big deal, but they have to set the tone up front for that. So
yeah, Dev, you've stepped right into Russ's co-hosting role for some reason. Now you've got your own guest with you.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know if you know this is, but this is the college football campus tour. My man has one of the best jobs in the freaking country, just rolling around going to games all week, every week.
That's awesome.
So now we got him back in Huntington. Been to Huntington before, so welcome back to Huntington.
Welcome.
What was it about this Thursday night game that made you go, yeah, I got to get back to Huntington for James Madison?
Well, first of all, I love Sun Belt football. All the additions have been perfect for the conference. You love the venom that goes back to the FCS days, and this is great football. It's the best G5 conference out there. I came to Marshall last year. I went to the 2020 Conference USA Championship game. I was at the 49th anniversary game the year before, and so this is my fourth game here.
Wow.
Only one below my record anywhere else, but I'm here because this is going to be a great game and a great environment.
Yeah, this is a great pick.
Dev, how many of those games that he just ripped off were you on the field for?
I think I was on all of those games. I've had the longest career possible with COVID. And the one last year, which one did you go to?
It was whatever was the weeknight game.
That was Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Exactly.
We wore the black.
That was the debut of the
black helmets. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
You guys, any school that has Kelly Green is like up at the top for me.
Yeah.
You know, I love the old Philadelphia Eagles. Kelly Green. And you guys, I mean, you could throw your color combinations in a blender and come out with a fire uniform. So
right. Even last week with the black tops, black pants, but then back to the white cleats, I like that look a lot. The alternating white, black, white, black, white. I like that a lot.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me put you both on the spot. I'll get a reaction from you here. Does Marshall need a Kelly Green helmet?
Me personally, yes, I like it. I don't know if the one we had in the past with like Lee Smith and Vinny was Kelly Green. It was super dark green, but I would love to see a Kelly Green helmet, kind of like those Eagles throwbacks he's talking about. I think theirs is more of a Kelly Green.
That's specifically why I said a Kelly Green helmet, because the old early Conference USA days era green was a hunter green. It was not our thing. But what do you think? Do we need a Kelly Green helmet?
I'm thinking Kelly Green helmet, white jersey, black pants, green and white stripe on the pants, maybe some black shoes, and can you please get the Randy Moss socks back?
The stripe.
Yes. I mean, in Little League, all through the years, I live in California, and I wore those socks, and people were like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, "You don't know." Like, those are iconic. They're iconic.
But you will, yeah. So, funny story about that. Those were banned by the NCAA after the '96 season because of Randy and Doug Chapman wore those as well in '96. Fun fact about me, I don't know if I think Dev knows this. We've talked a number of times. Randy Moss and I went to the same high school. That's how small West Virginia is. So, been following that career for a long, long time. But, that would be super cool, man, if you could bring back some flashy striped socks and get that look back inside Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Of course, at that time, it was probably still Marshall Stadium, but still, whatever. It is great to have you here. If you're hungry, man, Russ and them put all the food out just now. They did a low country boil today. If you don't know what that is, Russ's own little spin on the recipe. But lots of great food. Dev, did you get yourself a bowl or a plate?
Yeah, I got me a slight little plate. It tasted great. I'm about to head back for another one, probably though. So.
Well, now he's over there bitching about nobody seasoning the food, so it should be better this time.
Okay.
But no, it's really great to have you stop by. I was getting the keys. So let me get some keys to victory real quick. Dev, give me your first key to victory or a big key to victory tonight, and then I'll get one from you.
I mean, clearly, the thing that's held us back these past couple weeks is these explosive plays on defense. if we could just limit those, that's my first key. Just limit the explosive plays and just see how much better the result is at the end of the game. How much easier it'll be to put yourself in a position to win late in the game if there's no 60, 70-yard X plays, we used to call them.
Yeah, I think that's one I've been harping on. That was my number one key to victory this week, too. What's your biggest key to victory for the Herd to capture a dub this week?
It's going to be pretty simple. It's not fall behind quickly. JMU has jumped on people, home, road, wherever it is, and a lot of people, the sledding is too tough coming back uphill. So, you got the home field advantage. You got a team that, not everybody runs the table, so they could be ripe for an upset. Fall down 10, 14, nothing. That's not a good sign. Get up 10-3, 14-7, get the crowd into it, and see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you this, and Dev can back me up on this. Marshall is not a home underdog very often. It is not a taste that Herd fans and or players like to have. So being treated as an underdog at home, that ain't how we roll in Honey. So you can tell these guys are going to be extra amped up and ready to make some noise tonight. You've heard it all week long in the player press conferences. They know that they can go toe-to-toe with this team, but you're right. It's about keeping JMU from jumping on you early, and Dev's also right. It's about mitigating those huge chunk plays. It seems like Marshall can weather the sustained drive. They stiffen up and don't allow that to happen. It's that 1, 2, or 3 play quick strike drive that's been killing the Herd all year long. So if they can clean that up and keep it close early, Marshall can get into a dogfight with anybody, and they can prove that they can win those type of games. That's been the MO for this team this year. So, is Russ, Dev, is Russ or Jed? I need Jed. Is Jed within earshot of you?
Yeah, he's got his headphones.
Hey, are you ready to get back in here? Because I got to get downstairs. I'm a dad, guys. I don't get to tailgate. I got to go downstairs.
Yeah, I got you.
And hang out with the kids. Go get you something to eat. Appreciate you for joining the show.
Appreciate the hospitality as always, man. I'm thankful for you guys.
Every week, anytime. You know this.
All right.
Jed, let's talk about Ignite Link and how you make this thing happen, because we could not do ThunderCast Live. Folks have been enjoying the last hour or so, a little bit over an hour of us getting ready for this game. So let's talk about Ignite Link. I got to tell you this. I have been thoroughly appreciative of the new activity that I'm seeing on Twitter from Ignite Link. That's my realm. I'm glad I'm seeing that. So let's talk about Ignite Link, what you do, and how you can benefit businesses in the area.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I wanted to do over the past month or so is actually ramp up our social media presence. We've actually rolled out a brand new website within the last few months. Within the last couple weeks, we've ramped up the social media. So got to play that game, Katie. Unfortunately, for being a tech guy, I'm not really a big social media guy. So I'm kind of learning the tricks of the trade. So just got to give you everyone a brief overview of what we do. We are a managed IT services company. That's kind of the bread and butter. This stuff I kind of do on the side. So, but what managed IT services is basically we come into your environment, mostly small, medium-sized businesses, and we come in and we secure you from top to bottom. We make sure that the hardware that you have is in warranty, it's covered. We make sure that you're protected from cyber threats. We make sure your data is backed up. We put together life cycle plans for your hardware to make sure those things get replaced. The biggest thing is the term that is used is business continuity. We want to make sure that if your business is open, it's running. And if you utilize computers for your business, which almost everybody does, those have to be running. And that's what we do for you. Is we keep that infrastructure protected and running for you for your small, medium-sized businesses. And then for some other businesses, we do what's called co-managed IT services. So if you're a business that already has an IT department, but you're looking for some extra protection, maybe some backup products or some 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring, some of the things like that, we offer those services as well. So we're your one-stop shop IT for your business.
I think it's important to note that there is an area that you can fit into for any size business, no matter what their needs are. It's not a one-size-fits-all package that you bring to the table. Yeah. So You're talking about a one-person business all the way up to a hundreds of people and hundreds of employees type business. There are services and there are areas that you can fill for that business. And really, it's about peace of mind, right? Because it's one less thing. As a business owner, I think many business owners think, okay, if it's one less thing I have to worry about, then that's a viable value for me, and that's something that I'm interested in, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where we really shine is we're that business partner or with you, right? So we come in, we evaluate your environment, we work with you and how your business works to make sure that you're using the best setup possible. So you may be a healthcare facility, and so you've got HIPAA guidelines that you have to follow, and those regulations, or maybe you're deal with some sort of retail or what have you. There's different types of verticals and business needs, and those need to be approached a little bit differently on the IT side. So we come in, we build a customized plan just for you based on your needs, and then we work with you. We become an extension of you. We're your IT department, and we work to make sure that your business is staying up and running efficiently and smoothly.
I'm telling you, go to ignite.link if you are a business owner and check out their menu of services. Call, text, email, social media platforms. There is an easy way to get a hold of Jed and the team at Ignite Link to see how they can help you manage your business. Jed, thanks again for helping us always put on ThunderCast Live. We absolutely could not do this without your expertise. And I think the evolution of ThunderCast Live is only getting better and better. I mean, for the first time ever, folks are seeing it. I'm not seeing it because I'm in my office, but you guys are able to see me on a monitor, and the guests that we have are able to see me. And that's something brand new that we just debuted tonight for this game. And it's just the further evolution of what you bring to the table. And you're a strategic partner with the ThunderCast. I say that all the time. You're not just a sponsor. Though you are a sponsor, you are really a strategic partner. And we just cannot thank Ignite Link enough. Guys, we can't get out of here without knowing what we know now. Let's get some score predictions to see if anything has changed. Russ, what do you got?
Yeah, I have us rallying around the injuries and doing just like at K-State when we had Stan Hill out, and we went down there, and that was on the road against number 6, and we rallied around and we won that game. I got us by a touchdown. I got 28-21 hurt.
All right, Jed, what do you got?
I think it's really hard for me to ever, I never bet against the herd for one. For two, it's really hard for me to come up with a score prediction that goes against the herd, and today is no different. Give me one. Give me 31-28 in a close one. I think we pull it off. I think it's going to be close all the way through. But I like the herd today. We're in Huntington. The sun's coming out. Weather's amazing. Great day for some herd football. And,
I'm looking
for a rebound. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I can't quite. There you go.
Right.
But
I think next time we do one of these, guys, we'll just have to flip the cameras around so that the sun is setting.
There you go. Yeah.
Right there.
Got to get the lighting better for next time. We'll
Absolutely.
just set you guys up the other way. So, anyway, I'm sticking with my original score prediction, 38-35 for the herd in a gut check performance, because they hate being a home underdog. And this new news of potentially who may or may not be out is not wavering my feelings one bit. I like the herd to respond. I like the herd to quiet the doubters and take care of business at home at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. 38-35, Marshall gets the big win, dethroning the Kings of the East.
I like it.
So Russ, take us the heck out of here so we can get the tailgating.
Yeah, so one more shout out to Matt McCormick and McCormick Insurance. Hey, Matt. I just want to get him on camera. He had to run home. He's been back for a while, but I just want to let everyone see you real quick. You won't be able to hear everybody, but we're getting ready to sign off. And I just wanted to thank Matt. This is Matt McCormick of McCormick Insurance Group in Cerrito. Made all this possible. There's, 50 to 75 people over here eating and drinking food and drinks that you provided. People love to do business with Herd fans. Herd fans love to do business with Herd fans. Call Matt. He made all this possible. Please thank our sponsors. Thanks, Jed with Ignite Link. KD, I'm going to take us out of here right now. Thank you for taking time out to be on the show remote right now. But whether you see us at the Joan, whether you see us at the Cam, or whether you see us over here in the C lot with a low country boil and plenty of hospitality, wherever you see us, we're going to be saying, go Herd.
Go Herd. It's ThunderCast Live.